voice, now the ocean breeze. Island youth, them rising with the key. Roots and horizons calling we. Education set the people free. Raizal youth, come and learn in our delight. Open up your mind, let your future shine bright. Raizal boats, from the sea to the sun. Roots and horizons, every daughter, every son. We want the people come reason with we, reason with we, reason with we. Lift up this knowledge as you reason with we in this irie. Classroom under palm tree, but the lesson so strong. History of the islands, how we fight and stay long. Raizal stories, Raizal tongue, Raizal song. Teach the children how them spirits stay strong. Whoa, radio, radio, radio. Raizal youth, come and grow, stand tall. Voice of the nation, echo through the hall. Raizal voice, every mind get a shine. Roots and horizons, education design. We want the people come study with we, study with we, study with we. Lift up this knowledge as you come test we in a this irie.
Good evening to everyone. Welcome once more to Roots and Horizons, Raizal Education. We want to give welcome to all our Facebook listeners and also our YouTube listeners. So this space brings the community together once more for a reflection, for dialogue, and the strengthening of Raizal identity through education. Each encounter deepens understanding of the responsibility carried in preserving heritage while shaping future generations with purpose, dignity, and clarity. So welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. And we have already some comments. Thank you for joining us. Tonight marks the second chapter in the conversation on ethno-education. I'm having some technical issues, but let's see if everything is okay and you're listening perfectly. Just let me know if you are listening without no problem. Yeah, seems like everything is going fine. Okay, so tonight marks the second chapter in the conversation on ethno-education. This is understood not only as an academic concept, but as a living framework that affirms culture, language, history, and identity within the educational system. The focus centers on the statute for professionalization for ethno-educators, a step toward recognition, toward legitimacy, and as well institutional presence for Raizal educators. So when education reflects lived realities and cultural authenticity, it becomes transformative in our community or in our groups or in our people among communities, right? And it becomes something belonging and social and for social cohesion as well. So we're going to speak today about the Decree 3323 of 2005, which established the framework for the selection and appointment for professionalization for these ethno-educators. So before we begin, we'd like to invite Pastor Alberto Gordon to join us in a word of prayer. Welcome, Pastor. Pastor Alberto, you are on silence. Pastor, you're on silence.
Father, we thank you this evening for this opportunity of coming before you. We ask your blessing, your Holy Spirit to guide us in what we are about to take on tonight. We pray for wisdom, pray for knowledge as the people are being informed and as we are helping in a process that will be benefit and will be beneficial for our entire community of Raizal. We thank you, God, for tonight. We thank you for the people who are connected, for those in the studio live. And we thank you, God, for life itself and for the blessing to enjoy it, to have it, and the health that you have blessed us with. Guide us and abide with us tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Pastor. Across the world, societies increasingly recognize that education cannot remain detached from the cultural realities of the people it serves. In Latin America, as well as in places such as New Zealand and Canada, communities have strengthened educational models that place identity, language, and tradition at the center of learning. And I repeat that, models that place identity, language, and tradition at the center of learning. These efforts affirm that education does not transmit knowledge, but it shapes identity and collective belonging. So in this context, tonight's discussion connects directly with the legal framework in Colombia, particularly Decree 3323 of 2005. This decree establishes the foundation for the selection, the recognition, and the professionalization of ethno-educators. So this will represent a step toward inclusion and as well legitimacy and the strengthening of cultural grounded education within public institutions. So tonight we have some guests with us that will explore more on this topic. So let us see who we have connected so far. Oh, so they are telling us that we don't have any guests tonight. They will not be able to make it. So do we have Mr. Jairo Rodriguez with us? Okay, please welcome. Okay, so welcome, Pastor, and welcome, Jairo.
Yes. Good evening, Dr. Siegfried, Pastor Alberto, and all our viewers and listeners out there tonight. Happy to be back here again in a second chapter around this topic of the statute, that special statute for the professionalization of the ethno-educators, Black, Raizales, and Palenqueros educators. That is there right now at the Congress and very near to be approved. We want to continue to develop on this topic.
I understand we have some guests. Can you tell us at least of the guests that we had invited? Maybe we can have them next week. Please tell us about these guests that we had invited and they cannot make it tonight, please.
Yeah, we're having some technical problem indeed. And unfortunately, we apologize here. We contacted a guest for tonight, but circumstances came up with them. And at last moment, they just informed that they won't make it. Okay. Last week on Wednesday, we had some guests, some key people in the country that had been leading this struggle for this special statute for the Afro and Raizales ethno-educators. It was done totally in Spanish, we could say. This second session of this topic, we plan it to deal with our local actors, teachers, directives from the school, functionaries from the departmental government that work in education, etc. We made some interview around the island with some teachers from different public school, and I can share here that in conclusion is that they are not aware about the decree. They are totally in darkness. They don't know it. And we are doing this program precisely to bring these topics on the table, because yes, this is things that have to do with them and have to do with us, all of us, in the manner that they have to do with the teachers, them directly, indirectly, you have to do with all our children's students, and the community. They are a vital part of the system of education. The teachers have been somehow them in that profession, having respected their rights. They suffer somehow discrimination through laws, national laws that treat them just like any other teachers and treat us as ethnic people like the general. They start to recognize, to give the teachers them a different treatment, and in that same manner, the students a different treatment, because they are bringing the teachers to the students. The center of this is not really the teachers, but they are the main actors, that lead and that prepare our students. But in the bottom, if you analyze it, all this special statute is swinging around also in respecting the rights of the students, of the Raizal student, to have the proper teachers, educators, which should be from their own community, not foreign imposition. People that really not only can talk the language, or fight out their way to talk the language, but know the culture, know the history, know the territory, know the way of thinking and so forth of the people. And that's what this statute, if you notice, is going on. Okay.
And you are having some connections indeed. So Hiro, and not just about it, strengthen as well the way how teachers should teach. So it gives as well, so it has a lot of benefits for teachers indeed, but teachers need to know as well that they need to be aware of their environment and teach according to their environment and identity. And this is very important, because precisely I was mentioning today to a family member that this precisely has to do with the identity restoration theory that I mentioned in my previous book, that I about this identity restoration theory, or identity has to do precisely, it helps to avoid crime in our territory. So our teachers in ethno-education, they need to get the training as well to learn to give the students, about their identity. It's not the same to speak about snow, in an English class, to speak about snow. Of course, it's important for them to know around the context of the what is going on in the different weather and seasons around the world. But they need to know exactly first about their own territory before learning about a different territory, right? So that has to do a lot with this type of education. Education has to do with how the child learns. The child learns from first their environment that they're into. So teacher has to know that they need to get training as well if they want to join in this program. All teachers need to get training in ethno-education.
Excellent. Yes, I think unfortunately, we, the community, and the whole community, educative community, might be, after so many years, receiving these violation of our rights, linguistic rights, educational rights, rights for the kids, rights for children, you know, cultural rights violated, a whole bunch. I believe we come to the point, majority, to believe that that is the normal thing, believe that that is the right thing. And what we are seeing now with this decree, with this special statute, that is not right. Last week, one of our guests, Professor Marino Quinones from the Department of Nariño, we get him was to explain all the process coming from over 20 odd years back, constantly fighting to get to this statute. And they made protests, they take over place year behind year. They reached to the point that in 2016, the Constitutional Court of Colombia, in a sentence, the sentence C666, you all can search up for that, sentence C666 from 2016 from the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court ruled and declared that the statute that was used in Colombia for the educators, the teachers, wasn't to be applied to the teachers for the Raizal people. That's a sentence from the highest Constitutional Court. 2016, they ruled and said that the statute for the professionalization of teachers that exists in Colombia had been used all the time, wasn't to be applied to the teachers for the Raizales them. I say Raizales them, but they go for the Raizales, the black communities, and the Palenquero. We want to mention Raizal because we're bringing down the topic now to fluid territory. Last week, we talked about the global national territory with our guests. So that sentence is telling us that wasn't to be applied to the Raizales teachers. In that same manner, a next sentence from the court come out in 2018, the sentence SU 011. 2018 sentence SU 011. And in that second sentence, the court continue, and this time it telling the government that they was to present a project of law to regulate the laboral relations, that these teachers for the Raizales them should have. When you want to take out a law in Colombia and anywhere other state that ratify the Convention 169, International Convention 169 from the International Labor Organization, it have to go through a prior consultation with those people, So by the constitutional,
read it.
Excuse me.
I have it here. If you want, I can read it.
Okay.
It says this ruling holds strong relevance for ethno-education because it reaffirms the fundamental rights of ethnic communities to receive an education that respects and preserves their cultural identity, language, and traditions. The court emphasized that education for indigenous and Afro-descendant communities cannot follow a uniform national model that ignores cultural differences. Instead, it must be adapted to the social, cultural, and linguistic realities of each community. The decision also highlights the importance of participation and autonomy, stating that communities must play an active role in defining their educational process.
Excellent, excellent. That's that one that you read out, Dr. Siegfried, is which one of the sentence?
That is SU 011 from 2017.
Okay. Excellent. So it is telling us many times these high courts have to come out and show us, decolonize our mind and make we know that they are violating our rights. And how long they have been violating the rights for the Raizales, them in that sense, with having applying the CN system with the general teachers of the country over with the Raizales teacher? Decades. I want to share something here, if you permit me a few minutes, something personal. In
And as well, we have some
2019,
videos as well. They are telling us from the studio that they have some videos that they would like to share from the Brooks Hill school community.
Okay.
Michelle Davis Garcia. I'm an in-service teacher at the Brooks Hill Bilingual School. Okay, being a Raizal teacher build a lot of confidence with the student because they don't feel shy to express themselves. They feel a lot of confidence with us, and in the moment of giving instruction, if they don't understand it in Spanish or in English as a subject, well, we go to Creole and bring it down to their level so that they can understand. In fact, the decree is it will be an advantage to all the Raizal teachers because it gives us opportunity to be a in service named teacher or in propiedad, as how we say in Spanish, and it gives the student also the opportunity to have to have access to teachers that know their culture, know their tradition, and also know their language.
The same question, how this would benefit us in a several ways. We would going straight to be part of the planta docente, and secondly, we would transmit what them pass down to us. We would transmit it to other children, them not only the native but the collective children, them about not only islanders but also the those that doesn't speak English. Okay.
According to my experience, the benefit is very good for all whenever a person can teach you in their own language. You don't have to make that extra effort to really understand what him want you to understand. And as another matter of fact, you can interact and you will have a next opportunity to build up on your personal skills. You can interact with 2 and 3 different persons from different countries if you can dominate what is your mother tongue and your language.
Excellent. You have something to share, Hira. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. The testimonies of those teachers. I was next to share with you something personal. I believe it will help. In 2019, my youngest child, I take him out of school. I get to a point because and I sent a letter to the local government manifesting that I was as a Raizal of over a century being violated this way. We as a people and kids that have to be suffering that kind of way in the schools with the imposition of a next language that are not giving us our history and so forth. And I told them in that letter that I get, and that colonization education, I quit in from it. Well, that was a solitary protest, but my child didn't study. He remained in the island 2019, and I put him, I decided to school him home. The next following year, that was 2019, the COVID came in, and well, they did the next year virtually, could say, through COVID. But also share you this, that it had been a long process of Colombianization and colonization in education also, in a terrible way that affects us or our cultural identity and the being of our people. That matter that you deal with, Dr. Siegfried, with that affectation for children and adults, for sure, many come for that weakness of a strong and a firm cultural identity and a high self-esteem. Because the tendency of them doing say it with words, with action, they are telling us that you don't value. Because your language don't value, your culture don't value. They don't have to say it with words. No matter how small and young the person can take out the message from the treatment, and that is saying daily that you don't value. And we have to bring teacher from our side. That means that you are not too good. And what you think that you should know is not good, So all those things, this decree is making a revolutionary change and transformation. And we are calling for the teachers and the government and the directive at school to please pay attention to this, because it's a wonderful opportunity and we have to make the best use of it. We can see the result in a short or medium term of the transformation after this get to be enforced.
One of the most significant benefit of this decree here is the cultural preservation. The cultural preservation is because we'll have the opportunity to teach our children and youth from our own culture, our own teachers teaching them their culture. That is the most important thing. Instead of bringing in a brainwashing, like having a brainwashing of history and so on, of Colombian teachers teaching them, this gives the opportunity that our children and youth being taught or being, they have the teachers that giving them their identity, their roots and their identity from kids. And of course in Creole, and this, speaking in their mother tongue from the beginning. Is that the same, having a Spaniard or a continental or someone from outside teaching them something totally different from what they know, right? To have an islander or a Raizal teaching them in their own language. So it has to do with strengthening identity and strengthening cultural preservation as well.
Excellent. That is powerful. That is real revolution for me. To have this change. We do certain things at RDC, the Raizal Development Center, with our program that we call the Self-Determination and Development School. We try to reinforce, these weaknesses that we found in the system of education, teaching children, adults, professional, non-professional, about the history and about these other things. But the impact that we make, with the small amount of people that we can get to the school is minimum compared with when you can have it being taught at every school. You get it? We will have a full generation, totally different than the recent past generation that have a total emptiness or weakness of what it should be a Raizal cultural identity. Okay, so we're very positive to see. I think we have someone connected. That's too good from here. If I'm not lying, we are trying to get
before we let me check to see who else we have. But before that, I would like to speak about the second benefit, and this is for opportunities for leadership as well. So the professionalization process allows Raizal educators to enter the formal education system with recognition, stability, give them stability, and career progression. They will not stay in one level, but they can grow quick, right? In the escalafon system or the educational escalafon. It opens doors for teachers and as well for school leaders who can influence as well the curriculum, because they can plan the curriculum and change the curriculum accordingly to our reality. So it's not teaching the curriculum according to Colombian standards, but this gives as well teachers and leaders of school leaders that you can create the curriculum according to our environment. So you said that we have Miss Donna Vizcaino connected.
Fine. Fine.
So welcome,
Hi,
Miss Donna.
Welcome. We know you had some difficulty to join us tonight, and we highly appreciate that you finally made it. Donna is Raizal, working at one of the public school, and yes, Donna, we are tonight on this topic again around the decree that is there at Congress. We are in the decree around the special statute for the professionalization of Blacks and Raizales ethno-educators. That for sure will be approved very soon in the Congress. We are anticipating and analyzing here and making preparation, bringing the topic on the table with the teachers, the government, and so forth. So we are here analyzing the benefit of it. And welcome.
Donna, you're on mute, so please click on your microphone and take off the mute. Welcome. We can hear you. Your microphone is on mute still, Donna.
Let's see if we can help her to get it up. I see. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hi.
Blessing to each and everyone. Thank you all for the invitation. Well, I just get in, so I'm not fully aware of all the basic theme you have already touched.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role as a teacher and so on?
Okay. Well, I'm teaching at the departmental school, Natania. Well, of course, a monolingual school. Children only speak Spanish.
What do you teach there?
I teach English and Creole. Well, this year we are developing a Creole project within the school. We have a lot of children that are Raizal, but they do not speak Creole.
Okay, do you have a special ESL, English as a Second Language program for them?
Okay, the English program that we are using in Natania is what the national government and the suggested curriculum for San Andres is what we're using.
It goes according to the common European framework with the different levels?
No, we're not working by levels.
So you have English by grade?
Yeah, exactly, by grade. I am in the primary level and I give English from 3rd grade up to 5th grade. Okay, primary level.
And the majority of your students, they speak only Spanish?
Yeah, definitely. Only Spanish. I have a couple of them who probably they might understand a little thing about Creole, but they do not speak Creole. But they are Raizal.
Okay. Have you heard of the Decree 3323 of the 2005 about the ethno-education?
Yeah, a little. I know something about it.
What do you know about it so we can help you with that?
I don't know if it's the same one that talk about as Creole as the basic language in the territory. So that all who live in the territory should speak. I don't know if it's around that. And every departmental office should speak Creole, and I don't know if it's around that.
Not sure. That question that she's saying.
Hi, no, we are not treating that one tonight, Donna. One we are dealing with tonight is one that is national for all schools in Colombia. She get disconnected. Probably she are listening to us all the same, so I will continue to explain. yeah, is national and it's for all schools in Colombia, in public schools, ethno schools, and it go for the ethno-educators from the Black communities, Raizales and Palenqueros. That
So
a new system. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Excuse me to interrupt you. I have a question about what you just said. So when you mention, for example, that it covers all the schools but for example, she's teaching in a Tanya school that has only Spanish kids or kids that, you know, that speak only Spanish. In this sense, how would that apply there?
Yeah, we are pending to touch the next topic. That topic is around the ethno schools. Unfortunately, in San Andres, there have been a bit of resistance to work out the school to have that status, okay? A ethno school, a school will call for ethno educators. That's a homework that have to be done, and we are bringing someone in the next program precisely that next topic around the ethno school. Supposing say they have that. Yes, totally.
It's a very important
Totally,
topic
yes.
you're saying because it has to do with the difference between a
Yes.
bilingual school and a non-bilingual school and an ethno-educator school. So an ethno-education school, that is an important topic for us to bring, you know, the expert to talk about that. What is an ethno-educator school? What is a bilingual school? What is a monolingual school, right? Because we have a lot of ethno-educators, teachers or educators in monolingual schools and not in ethno-educator schools. So how can these ethno-educators be or join in the ethno-education program when they are not in an ethno-educator school, ethno-education school?
Yes, exactly. And your next is you more same way as important, you know, is what? It is expected that the schools that are majority of Black community students, well, automatically consider a school or ethno school, you know. And in the department, we have a situation, you know, is what? Raizal people had become numerically minority.
Correct.
In San Andres especially, right? And that numerically minority is reflected also in the schools. School like Bruxelles, I studied Bruxelles when I was a child. And that time, I think 99.99% of the students there was Raizales that I studied with. And today, when you step in at the school, I can't tell you the percentage, but the perception is that we come back, in proportionality, we're very far back. And not only Bruxelles, that would be a reflection in nearly every single San Andres, because that 20% that we represent now in the island will be reflected in all manner, in all aspects, and the school are one. So we cannot tolerate the be at the
You are breaking
so
up.
we want to treat that topic. Sorry.
It's
We want to treat
breaking
that
up.
topic.
Breaking up.
Still, sorry. Make us see how better this signal.
So while you better
hearing me there?
While you better the signal, Donna is back with us. Let's have Donna tell us, for example, about this Creole project. Donna, you were saying that they want you all to teach Creole as well?
Okay. Not exactly teaching Creole. What our principal is looking is that the children, the Raizal children that study at the school love Creole. You understand me? Because the children, for example, that has, we will have said in a way Creole way, title, the islanders title them. The children, they know a thing about to say, come here now, where you went there, not a thing. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
So he's looking like something like to dignify the language. So what we are doing down there, we are not teaching like grammar and structure and nothing like that. We are just focusing on the oralidad. We are calling it in Spanish oralidad, the speaking method. You know, so what we are doing right now, we begin with teaching the children them like songs and rhymes. For example, in the first grade, we are working along with some other teacher that is Raizal too. We are teaching the children them like bed song, like sleep mama baby, tell mama come home, thing like those. So we base on the repetition and the drawing of what the song mean, but we are not teaching nothing about writing written structure.
Okay, but there is a structure established in the school that, for example, in certain age or certain year, you start teaching English, or you're doing that apart from your English class?
No, that is apart. So that is apart from the English class.
Okay, so in your English class, you're following the Colombian curriculum.
Correct.
Okay, so you have a subject. You call it Raizalidad, or how you call it in how you call that subject that you give in the school now about Raizality?
Oh no, that is just like is a project proposal. Okay. We already presented and we are, let me say, like in the beginning, because we just start this year. We just begin this year.
But you're saying that, for example, in your English lessons, you give Creole and English, or just English, or when is it that you give the Creole?
No. We give Creole a specific day.
Oh,
1 hour. For example, on Tuesday, I will have like an hour in the 5th grade, them. And on Wednesday, I have in the 3rd grade, and like so.
I got you now. So you separate the schedule, and then if you have, let's say, 5 hours of English, some of the hours go to English class and some go to
1
Creole.
hour, exactly. 1 hour. We take out 1 hour of the English class to give Creole. And something important, we are not grading the student them if they do not do good progress in Creole.
Well, because it's not part of the curriculum as well. But then with this decree 3323, it has to do with as well the development of the curriculum. So it'll give the schools the autonomy to create the curriculum accordingly. So that is a good thing of the decree, Jairo, because it will give the school as well the autonomy to create the curriculum of the school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yes, that precisely. Remember last week with our guest, Elda Aristides Pino, is a very well profound person in this topic, and he shared. Remember, he talked about even the content that will be taught at the school. It won't be a content will come with a teacher that come in the school. You know, teacher come, teacher go, teacher come, teacher go. And then every teacher come and imposing something else, you know. He explained that it will be something established, and when they start out and impose in the school, whoever come have to just fall in line with that. You know, we cannot develop a system of education for children that leave to the simple, you know, unilateral decision of teachers, you know, of the teacher. So as you said, it will be something defined by the school, by the comunidad educativa at school.
But something important that I would like to mention, Donna and Jairo and listeners on Facebook and YouTube, is that we should also standardize what we are going to teach. So it's not from the Ministry of Education, the Secretary of Education, and so on. When this is get to, you know, a broader expansion of this decree, this should be standardized on the whole archipelago. It's not that each school in particular develop their way of teaching Creole or way of teaching, for example, our programs and so on, our curriculum, but it should be standardized for all the education on the island, right? So in case a child goes from one school to the next, and they go from Sagrada Familia to Baptist school or to wherever school they go to, every single school should be involved in it. And not just having, for example, a Colombianized school over here because it's private, and a school over here because is public, right? But it should be standardized in the whole archipelago first, for public schools and private schools as well.
Good. Excellent. Yes, you're right. You're right. It should be that way, you know. And that is telling us that it has to be a construction by the people, you know.
Correct.
We have can I have the word?
Sure.
Sorry,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Jairo. We have I would say a difficulty in that aspect right now, because definitely when the Secretary of Education is focusing on, let we said, any project around Creole or let me use the word Raizal things, they always focus on the Hill School. They don't have like in consideration that little small minority that study in the school in the town them. So sometime my principal get angry, and sometime he go on bad, we will say. Because he said, what happened? Natania School has Raizal children too. So he sometimes said, all the prices and thing going for the Hill School, Natania is Raizal, and Natania we have Creole. So I guess there's a lot of work to do. I agree with what you had said about when this program start to held out, it should be something standardized that all the school, everybody, they teach the same thing.
Correct.
You know, everybody underneath the same program. Everybody, they make the following up. I see it like a good idea, this proposal. Sound good.
Yeah.
We have the example for the national curriculum, national standard English program in Colombia for many, many years. And I'm saying that as an educator that I am for over 31 years. So we have the program in Colombia, for example, that Colombia standardized how you should teach English according to the Common European Framework for all. And every year they said they impose a law saying that Colombian bilingual program. So Colombia bilingue, and they say by a certain year, all students should be A1, A2, B1, B2, whatever. And you have A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, all the levels according to the Common European Framework. Now, question. The teachers, for example, that we have in our schools, we have a lot of Spanish teachers teaching English.
Sure.
Right? You have Spanish or Spaniards teaching English, and even some of them only know to teach Creole. So you have, that is something that you have to definitely kick out from the Secretary of Education. You cannot have a person from mainland teaching English to our kids. You cannot have a person teaching Creole to our kids. That is ridiculous. We should have Raizal teachers teaching Raizal kids. Right? That is the first thing that we should have.
Well, that is something that is happening right now at my school right now. In the bachelor, how we like call the bachelor, second level. The high school. The high school, yeah, we have a Spanish teacher teaching English. Well, definitely, they might know something about the grammar, but when we're referring to speaking and reading and the pronunciation, that's the clash.
And education has to do with culture, with identity. So you can't put somebody that is not from the archipelago to teach culture, to talk about this. I mean, the songs that you were mentioning that you're teaching, right?
Right.
The songs and the ring play, Brown Girl in the Ring, and all those songs. You can't bring a person from outside to teach these things to our kids, no matter if they have the title as how you're saying they don't speak the language, you know, because I have a lot of them that they grew up speaking Spanish and they don't want to talk the language, is because it's a shame for them. Because you hear the same parents telling them, I don't talk that, you know, hablo eso.
Exactly. That's the
so the kid grew up, you know, not loving the language, and they don't have it as a language. They have it as something like is a dialect, like the Patois in Jamaica or the Swahili in Africa, or one of them, the dialects, and they say that is dialect. I
can tell you. I don't know how much love and self-belonging Brooks Hill, well, Sarfi mentioned a school name, Brooks Hill or Flowers Hill, love Creole like Natania School. I have a video. I hope I can share it after I out here. My student them that does not speak Creole repeating mosquito 1, mosquito 2, mosquito jump in a whole man's shoes. Someone asking me, hey, then the panya fichu. I say yes, and they're not talk non-Creole. You understand me? And it's something like, hey, they cited. When that whole group of students repeat together, hey, somebody said, wow, you know, the whole neighborhood here. So there are a lot of work to do. I will say yes to the work.
Yeah, okay. One of the benefit of this new decree, as you was saying, is to guarantee, you know, that the teaching be done by ethno-educators that will be selected in a special way. So I call it a special statute for the professionalization of the ethno-educators in a special way. They won't go through the normal contest, you know, that the other the teachers done in the country.
Because I have.
They will be established a special way for them, and who will select them will be the same ethnic authority, you know, not the Colombian national system. That's one of the powerful things, you know. So that Joel was talking about, that they take teachers that don't have the, you know, the cultural identity and so forth. Well, with this new statute, automatically that will be controlled, because they won't be selected by national contests, but by the local ethnic authorities. You know, that's a great benefit there with this statute. And something I see the national government are bluffing. I don't know how true this, but it's good to find out. They claim to say that this statute for ethno-educators is the first one in Latin America and the Caribbean.
That's not true.
That's one of the things they're bluffing around, that this is the first in the country. That's why I say here, it look too good. But fine, it's something to celebrate. Something to celebrate, and we have to make good use of it. We have plenty of homework, and we really need to work near with the government. This won't be an imposition of a departmental government. This will be something constructed by the Raizal people. Okay, as what you were saying, look while here, Dr. Siegfried, about the content and to unify the content and so forth. It cannot be done by the government, the departmental government. It have to be done by the Raizal people. And I say the Raizal people, well, the mass of the actors of the Raizal people with their traditional authorities, you know, or representatives that sit down and build together this standard as who should have. Okay, if it be done by the national government, it will be something contrary to the spirit of this decree. We're going back again to the colonization of the education.
Correct.
Yeah.
In my research, I found that in Bolivia and Guatemala, ethno-education has evolved into a structured approach that integrates cultural identity with academic development supported through legal frameworks and teacher training initiatives. So before Colombia has started this, it existed in Bolivia and Guatemala with indigenous groups and so on. So it belongs, long before Colombia has started it, it belonged to different places already. Anyways, but it's a good initiative indeed. And the idea is to reinforce it, like to speak more about it. So people can know about it, especially our teachers and leaders.
The observation, they bluff to say is the first sample for blacks, not indigenous. Okay. So probably you have to check that. It says the first sample for blacks in Latin America.
Indeed for blacks, but for indigenous, it did.
For indigenous, no. Sure, for indigenous, no. Right.
So the professional identity is very important, Donna. Excuse me, let me tell Donna something here about the professional identity is important, Donna. We're talking about the standardization. That is very important. So because the idea of teaching something, if it's Creole or English, it should be standardized in the whole, that we have a curriculum to follow, but our own curriculum to follow. Saying that in the English program, for example, we're going to include 1 day of Creole or 2 days of Creole because it's part of teaching the language, and the culture, of course, because teaching the culture is to teach ring plays, food, religion, all the thing that has to do with our culture, So 1 day can be, for example, we are going to talk about making a rundown, just to say something about the ring play, and so all of that should be standardized in teaching the language. It's part of the culture.
Okay, for example, the suggested curriculum for San Andres, they have immersed it within it. They have like certain things from the cultural part of the island. For example, if we are teaching, for example, in 3rd grade, the period that just finished right now, we talk about illness, like sore throat, fever, and stuff like that. So within the curriculum, suggested curriculum for San Andres, they suggest that we talk about the different plants that we use here in our island probably for fever, for diarrhea, for sore throat, and things like that.
A natural bush and so.
Exactly. But not just like, like overhaul, like over. Not to go like deep within.
Superficially.
Yeah, superficially. But really, I don't know if everybody's doing that. Because it become known like it's not a strange jacket. When you see the curriculum from other school, you see they teaching something else.
Exactly. And the same thing I was telling you about the Common European Framework, is the same thing. For example, the Ministry of Education say that by X grade, students should finish at a B1 level, just to say something. Like students from high school should exit high school being a B1 level, but they don't promote the levels from elementary school, from primary. So how they can get to that level when they come in high school?
Exactly.
So it's the same thing. They say the curriculum may have or should have or could have. You say could have something from the cultural background. You could include it if you want. But if you have a Spaniard teacher teaching, the language, they're not going to do that because they don't even know about
it. Exactly.
They're going to talk about it because they don't know about it.
Exactly. And the next thing, what within this suggested curriculum, that we don't have material that talk about like the fullness of our cultural environment and things. So sometimes we as teacher, we have to like be looking other stuff, other material from here, from probably our elders them that can give us some type of information and things like that. So that is the next, I will say, impediment around that. So it's very important when designing and organizing this, we have to construct material that everyone can have access to.
Yeah, it's difficult to work with your fingernails, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Jairo, a question that I have when it comes to ethno-education is when you separate public school from private school, because this decree basically is for public schools.
Okay.
Because you can't really impose a private school to, you know, to jump into a curriculum that they really don't want to, because each one have their own pay, the Proyecto Educativo Institucional, and each one can develop their own way of teaching and their own methodology and all of that. So really in their pay, they can put it the way how they want because they're private. So they really can't really impose that. So how many public schools do we have on the island, Jairo?
Give me a chance. I have to.
We have Rancho. Rancho still exists, right?
I have them here.
Ineras. We call it Ineras.
I worked Rancho for many years. I used to work at Rancho School when I was on the island. I taught at Rancho School both English and music. So Rancho, what else we have?
Brooks Hill School. You have Flores Hill. Public school you're talking about, right? You have Bolivariano.
You have Natania Public School as well. You have Industrial.
Industrial is public as well.
Carmelo.
Okay. And all the others are private.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, at least in San Andres, we have 7. But those principal schools have small schools, like what we call in Spanish sedes. Like, you know, for example, Flowers will have Emmanuel, and they have Central Baptist. So you'll have small school in the town and as well small school in the south area.
But the Emmanuel school is private or public?
Public.
Oh, but although it's a Baptist school, it's public.
Oh, sorry.
Is that a Baptist school?
Well, no, they're just using the building of Emmanuel Church for the Flowers Hill. It's not like Baptist school, like we will use the word Baptist, no.
Okay.
First Baptist is the private one.
Oh, the first private. Okay, the one from the first Baptist school, that is the private. Okay.
Yeah, we have the list here. You all mentioned it already. Public in San Andres, you have Brooks Hill, Flores Hill, Bolivariano, Industrial, and those 3 that you mentioned together, Rancho, Semed, and Philip Beatman, Nathaniel, Carmelo, and Sagrada Familia. In Providence, you have Junin, Maria Immaculada. I think you have one, Bona, I'm not sure. In Providence.
Yeah, because they closed all the schools around the island. Providence had Ketlina School and many schools, and they closed all of them around the island, just concentrate them one place.
Yeah.
One place, okay.
The private one, I have a list here, about 9 of them. You have Luis Amigo, Gimnasio Real, Cajasay, First Baptist School, Liceo del Caribe, the Adventist School, Magic World School, Sueños Alegres.
I have a lot of private schools.
A lot.
I have a list here of 9 in private.
You have El Arca. You have Arca too.
Plus the
Renovación del Arca.
The preschools. You have a lot of preschools as well. Private preschools, right?
Yeah.
Preescolar, the preschools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sueños Alegres is the preschool. Sueños Alegres is the preschool. It's a private preschool. And as well, Magic World. To me, they don't have primary level. I don't think so.
Yeah, I have 9. I have a list that you mentioned, and in total it's some here 9. Private. but we have a good start. We have a good amount of public that this decree applies to directly, and the population of Raizal are, as we say already, it's a minority actually, and the benefit should reach so much. We have to just see on the way how we do it, as we are contemplating here, what happened to the rest of school and what happened to the private school. And checking down these questions, these are topics that we have a question, and so that we have to develop in the next program. We was expecting, as I told you, starting the program, some guests that never able to connect finally. But next week we will cover those things. And let's continue build together.
Correct.
Let's continue build together in this good opportunity that we have.
It's a broad
Ryan, I
topic.
don't know if any other video, you have any other video, we don't pass the interviews, the pre-recorded interviews. I think we don't pass that, right? For tonight. Yes, okay. That's it here.
Yeah, so it's a broad topic indeed, Hyro and Donna. And then definitely we have to continue to develop more in it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to, that part that you mentioned, Donna, we have to start build materials, a lot of materials that we need. But, well, it was long to have this, so work is there. And hope is there. Hope is there to can reap some better generation with better foundation, strong cultural identity. It have to bring a better result.
And to our listeners on Facebook and YouTube, they can join us as well, give their comments and their participation for next week, Wednesday. They can come and join us. Yeah, you can join us on, with your comments and so on Facebook and YouTube Live.
Okay.
Harry is having some connection issues, so we would like to close then the program. Harry, you have some last final words? Remember, everyone, that we are talking about the decree of ethno-education and importance of this decree for our ethno-educators on the island.
Okay, thank you all for the invitation.
Thank you very much, Donna. Thank you very much for joining us. Hyro, you can have the closing, please. You're back now? Yes.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Signal had been bad tonight. Sorry about that.
Go ahead and
yes, well, okay, we really satisfied what we able to cover tonight. Analyze locally this special decree, a statute for personalization of the ethno-educators, the Raizal educators. We recognize that we have plenty of work to be done collectively as a people, with different actors, government, churches, parents, leaders, etc. We have to build strong foundation, come together. Contextualize education with strong cultural identity. Next week, we're coming up again with our next. Highly appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Good night to everyone.